Hey, everybody, and welcome back. If you guys are MMA fans, and I'm guessing that's why you're here, you probably know that Demtrious Johnson got knocked out for the first time last night over in one championship by Adriano Moraes. Now, the way that he got knocked out has sparked some debate online about whether knees to a downed opponent should be legal or illegal, right? Now, important distinction to make here. Knees to a downed opponent are legal in one championship, but they are illegal in the UFC. Now, there are different rules and stuff in different commissions. It gets kind of confusing about how you define a downed opponent in the UFC, but a knee to a downed opponent is illegal in the UFC. In one championship, it is perfectly okay. So, Demtrious Johnson gets caught with, I believe, a short uppercut that drops him. Adriano Moraes jumps on top of him, starts hitting him with some ground and pound, and as Demtrious tries to get up, Adriano Moraes brings a left knee up that rocks Demtrious Johnson while he's downed, right? And people are saying, oh, it's too brutal. It's too this, it's too that. My take on it is, I believe that as long as the fighters are aware of the rules, that particular blow, a knee to a downed opponent, should be perfectly legal. And here's why. I know that it sounds brutal, but you guys got to think. Every time somebody stands up, like they get knocked down, they get taken down, whatever, when they go to stand up, when you tell the other person that they can't throw a knee, you're allowing the person on bottom to stand up in a way that's unrealistic. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've taken away an effective, legitimate technique from the person on top and kind of given this loophole for this person to stand up in a way that's not exactly realistic, because in a real situation, they would have got hit with that knee. And here's the difficult part, right? Like in MMA, you're always trying to find the balance between where's sport and where's real fighting. Like in a real fight, yes, that would happen, but this is a sport. Should we be allowing that? It's tough, man. But I think so. And I also think, like, when you talk about blows to the back of the head, that one makes sense to me that it's illegal, because if you take somebody's back in particular and they can't see the blows coming and you're just raining down knees on, like, right fucking here, that's dangerous, man. Like, that's clearly dangerous. And I think you're just not, like, that's not going to do well in sport, right? Like, if for people watching it, for a spectator sport, that's not going to fly. But you're also talking about a sport that's incredibly brutal as it is. Like, look at the flying knee knockout of Ben Askren that Jorge Masvidal hit, right? Like, it's a brutal sport. He was knocked out cold, got hit with 2 extra ones afterwards. So, to me, the difference kind of is, like, if you can see the blow coming, then it's kind of on you to defend it, right? It's like for me, Demtrious Johnson last night, he was aware of the rule set. Knees to a downed opponent are allowed in one championship. To me, when Demtrious Johnson gets rocked like that, it's on him to stand up or find a way back to his feet in a way that doesn't expose him to getting kneed, because you know it's allowed, right? And it's an effective technique. And it's like, here's a different example, right? Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. In that particular example, the knee to a downed opponent was illegal because we're in the UFC, right? So Aljamain Sterling knows in that situation that if he's downed, under however they define it, that he's not going to get a knee thrown at his head. And you guys can kind of see that, like, there's a huge opening there for Petr Yan to throw the knee, but he kind of hesitated on it. But, like, my point is, if knees to a downed opponent were legal, if they were allowed in the UFC, Aljamain Sterling would have never just been hanging out in that position, right? It allows guys to kind of stall and unrealistically think about what they're going to do and negates the offense of the other person, right? And I just think that it's... Now, I'm not saying Aljamain Sterling was wrong for doing what he did. He was operating within the rules of MMA, right? Like, within the rules that he was participating in. So it's not like he did anything wrong in that particular scenario. But my point is that it's very unrealistic for you to just sit on your knee in front of a person and leave your face perfectly exposed and know that they can only throw punches to it. Like, that seems so crazy to me. And also, we were talking about blows to the back of the head. Like, in a situation where a person can throw a knee at your face, you are facing them. Like, you're able to see the offense that they throw. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're completely unprepared for it. Like, blows to the back of the head, like I said, it's even iffy there because guys throw roundhouse kicks, it wraps around, hits you in the back. But again, if you get head kicked, at least you were facing your opponent and had an opportunity to prevent the head kick from landing at all. If it lands, it's kind of on you that it landed, right? And I also understand, like, you could kind of take the same logic and go, oh, is it up to you to defend nut shots then? Well, I mean, no. But if you allowed nut shots, I think people would just come out and start kicking people in the nuts every fight. You wouldn't want to watch the fight. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, it's trying to find this balance between sport and actual fighting. And I just think that knees to a downed opponent are too realistic of a technique, too effective of a technique to just ignore and outlaw them, right? Again, in Aljamain Sterling's case, you would never get into a fight with somebody and just sit there and be a downed opponent and not be allowed to get kneed in the face. And again, the whole debate about sport versus fighting, but I mean, you would never be, that's not realistic to me, right? And to me, when Aljamain Sterling is in that compromised position, it's on him to intelligently find a way back to his feet or wherever he wants to be where he doesn't expose himself to that knee. You know what I mean? It's like you can see it coming. You know that you could potentially get hit with it as long as you're made aware of the rules. I think that it was on Demtrious Johnson last night to find a way back to his feet effectively and safely without getting hit with the knee. It's a real technique, man, and it's one that I think that you should be forced to deal with that, right? And if you also know the rules, you get to prepare for it in training. Like, you know that you could potentially get hit with it in a fight. I mean, fuck, man, it's on you as the fighter to not get put in that situation, in my opinion. I know that's a brutal take on it, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But to me, you're just making it unrealistic. Like, you're giving somebody a loophole to stand up when they maybe really wouldn't have been able to stand up in that situation. You know what I mean? And again, they're facing it. They can see the offense coming at them. Stand up how you will, but know that you might get hit with a knee. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.